guys. I solved my problem. I solved my problem. The problem of being super self-conscious when I record these videos because I can always see myself. Like, I could flip the video around. I've tried it. But I came up with a better solution. And that solution is to just not wear my glasses. God actually is the one who solved my problem by deciding that I would be born close to blind. Actually, I wasn't born this way. God didn't do this. We did this. Too many video games, too much reading. Anyways, I blame my blindness on the manufacturers of old televisions where you had to go up to the television. I'm pretty old. I don't know if you guys remember this. Like when your parents were watching TV and they wanted the channel changed, and they said, "Hey, can you go change the channel, little one?" Or however your parents talk to you. "Hey, little guy, can you go change the channel?" And then you had to like slide up to the television, and then like there's usually like a little panel at the bottom, and you had to like type in the station or press the up button until you got to the right station or turn up the volume or whatever. So anyway, I blamed the makers of those televisions on my blindness because I was right up close to the TV and my ass wasn't going to keep sliding back just so I could get a safer, more healthy view of the television. I was going to sit up there close to the volume and watch up close and personal like it was my own personal movie theater screen. And then so now I'm just blind. It's a small price to pay for seeing The Lion King up close. Anyways, this solves my problem because I don't have to see myself if I can't see myself because I'm blind. I guess this is the perfect example of making the best out of a bad situation. It's the perfect example of making lemons out of lemonade. Lemonade out of lemons? Jeez, don't ever make lemons out of lemonade. First of all, if you do that, you're an alchemist. You're a magician. And you should be doing something else with your time other than just making lemons with your superpowers. But it's like making lemons out of lemonade, if you will. So you're welcome for that little bit of positivity today on your Sunday. Anyway, I'm gonna make a short video today, not a long video. I'm actually in a super bad mood, but I guess I put on a face in front of the camera and you would never know. But I found out some interesting news, and that is that my mom is an INFJ, which is like breaking news to me. It's changed my whole perspective on the world. I'm reevaluating my religion. Everything has changed suddenly. I'm actually disappointed. My first reaction was disappointment because I was like, but I'm the only one, And I've always prided myself on not being one of those conceited INFJs that's like espouses the fact that we're the rarest type. And as if somehow that makes us better. In fact, I am partially doing this because I feel like I need someone to relate to because there is no one. I don't think most people realize that as we go about our daily lives and we watch people, whether it be on TV or people we know in real life, we pick up things from them we watch how they maneuver the world and we learn things and we mimic those things and they help us cope. INFJs don't have very many people to watch in that way, because there aren't that many people that are maneuvering the world in the same way as us. So that has been a struggle. And I first, for me, and I think probably for a lot of other INFJs, we just grow up thinking something's wrong with us. Like, why can't we cope? What's wrong with us? Why are we having these feelings? Why are we behaving in this way? Why are we having these sensitivities? Why can't we be like that person or that person? Maybe that's just me. Maybe you guys are super well adjusted. But I have a feeling that it's not just INFJs, it's a lot of different types. I'm just saying that for INFJs, it's amplified because we don't have these examples. And so, I am doing this channel for that connection, and so that maybe some other people will watch it and say, there's an INFJ just living life, and cool. Like, the way I am is cool. The way I am is fine. And then I don't have to wait years and years to feel that way like I did. But anyway, come to find out that I actually grew up with an INFJ my whole freaking life, and it was my parent. At least that's what the online test said. And, you know, it's pretty telling, because I never felt like the way I was completely okay. And there was no one ever making me feel like the way I was completely okay. And it dawned on me, I don't think my mom thinks the way that she is completely okay. I think that she has been having the same struggle her whole life, and she didn't know about the personality test. She had no one to talk to about it. And I know for a fact that there have been people in her life making her feel like the way she is isn't okay. So I think like that's like, it's basically insecurity that's been passed down to me. It's like hereditary insecurity. Like, imagine, like, hereditary well, I mean, it's not really hereditary, it's really cultural, but still, it's like passed down insecurity generation to generation. So interesting. But it stops here. Now we know. Anyways, after she told me she was an INFJ, like, it made sense. Like, just yesterday, she actually posted on social media and said, like, does anybody else have a safe space? Like, keep something in a safe space and then forget where their safe space was and lose their safe space as well. And I was like, man, that's so INFJ. Like, my mom does so many INFJ things. I just never thought, I never processed it. I never thought about what type she might be, or that she might be an INFJ. And those were my own hangups, you know, that prevented me from being open to that possibility. But so anyway, yeah, it's I'm actually the one who has always kept my mom's passwords for her. I've remembered them for her, because she loses them. It's been like a contention point, like, Mom, I can't give you anything, you'll lose it. And so, you know, the way I've adapted to that inferior cognitive function of extroverted sensing is that I have a routine. Like, you know, every time I stand up, I pat my pockets. Like, every time I stand up from a place that I've been sitting, I pat my pockets to make sure my phone, keys, and wallet are in there. And these routines make it so that, like, I can cope with the world even with an inferior extroverted sensing. I am super, I think I told you guys, I am super, like, absent-minded sometimes. Anybody that's lived with me knows this. But I have developed coping mechanisms so that when I'm not in a safe space, I'm not losing my stuff. I'm not making important mistakes. So anyway, that's a digression, but found out my mom was an INFJ. That is the news of the day. And I'm gonna do a whole video at some point on my dad and his type, because that's super interesting too. And he is not the typical variety of his personality type. He's not a typical variation. And I think that would be interesting. Maybe I'll get him on here to talk about it. Nope. Immediately as that came out of my mouth, I realized that's not going to happen. I'll talk to him about it, and then I'll come back and share with you guys. I'm also, so I'm going to keep this video super short, because this was like actually just something that I spontaneously wanted to talk about before, like, you know, as I discovered it. But I do want to get to a video about coping with negative thoughts, because I have promised some people I would do that. And I actually want to dive into that a little bit deeper and talk about not just about coping with negative thoughts, but about what is triggering these negative thoughts and feelings that we have. Because a lot of times we put the onus on the situation, like, you know, we know what, you know, Barbara at work is making me feel this way, or it's that I feel trapped because of my environment. We know what the societal or environmental triggers are, but we don't know why they're triggering us. So I think, like, to talk about some of the whys behind the things that trigger INFJs would be super important. And so I'll talk about that, as well as maybe touch on some other personality types too. So leave you guys with that for now. Like and subscribe so that maybe one day one person will see this video. All right, guys, peace.